Hi guys, we're back. Ray Cousins here on behalf of Liteforex Broker, where I share with you on a weekly basis, every Tuesday as a matter of fact, my personal trading activities. Last week it was the foreign exchange market, and this week we're going to focus on the cryptocurrency market. So we're going to alternate on a weekly basis back and forth between these two markets. Last week I shared with you a few positions that I have, a few bullish positions that I have on the US dollar. This week I'm going to share with you what I feel is the top trading opportunity right now in the cryptocurrency market, that is the Ripple. Now, a few words on the cryptocurrency market, right? Ever since the beginning of 2018, we saw the market moving only in one direction, and that was downwards. Obviously an intense and prolonged period of downside correction phase, what seems to be. But however, we do get some signs right now of what seems to be market bottoming out, right? The market seems to be maybe preparing for the next bullish move, for the next bullish trend. Having said all that, I'm going to present to you the Ripple not only from the long-term perspective, but also from the short-term perspective, because to be honest, that's where my main focus is at the moment, until we can fully determine that the cryptocurrency market is in a bullish phase, right? Is done with the downside correction phase. We can't say that yet. However, I'm going to show you how I've just made 70% on the Ripple. You know, I mean, just only in the cryptocurrency market you can mean short-term perspective and still make 70% in 2 days. You know, I mean, these numbers are unparalleled. I haven't seen these numbers, not even close, remotely close, in any other market, right? Which is why this is the beauty here in the cryptocurrency market. But the reason I wanted to give you a shout out about the Ripple is not to tell you that I've just made 70%, but to tell you what I think is going to happen, which is another 70 to 100% of potential return that could happen in a few days. I mean, I don't expect that to happen in 2 days. To be honest, I didn't see that coming, but I do think it can happen in a few weeks' time. So let's go ahead and take a look. All right, so you're looking at the daily chart of the Ripple, and everything started. Let me show you exactly. Everything started right here on this double bottom. I first noticed this particular double bottom starting to form. Usually I'm not too excited about that unless it's supported by other technical elements, such as my key levels, in this case the symmetric setup and the key levels. So I was mostly focusing on this particular level, 3205, which is a very important one. This is actually the bottom key level. And when I noticed that price was, well, at first it was attempting to break, it was failing on the first attempt, but then it did close above that level. So I thought to myself, that's interesting. After a double bottom breaking through that particular resistance, so I started to establish the first bullish campaign. First, when I say first, after a long time where I was just not involved with the Ripple at all. So I started at 0.34 and I was aiming at this particular level. And this is, take a very careful look at this level. I would suggest even memorize this level or even write it down, because this is the magical level. This is the mid-low key level that I'm going to show you in a minute. This is a big setup coming from the monthly chart. But this is a massive resistance. So I was aiming at this particular level as a price target. I was putting my take profit order right there. And in 2 days, less than 48 hours, price completely devoured my price target. It actually went on much further than my price target, right? And this is the interesting part, because I was relying on this particular level. But price, what it did, it was just overshooting. There was a massive momentum on the upside, but it was fake, right? Because you can see what happened here. This huge spike where price was just coming back down all the way, and closing back below that level and also back below the 200-day moving average. So it went all the way back and established itself below that level. And then I noticed that it was trying to challenge that level again, and at that point I just decided to sit on the sideline for a couple of days to see what happens, because I thought there's a good chance there's going to be a downside correction for that previous upside segment. And that's exactly what happened, right? Price started to move downwards, and I was still waiting on the sideline to see what's going to happen. I knew that it was just a local downside correction, and we're going to have a second attempt on that particular level. Now, usually, second attempts are successful, right? So what I was mostly interested in is the very moment where I'm going to pull the trigger again to reestablish my consecutive second bullish campaign on the Ripple, right? So I've just made about 70% from 0.34 to 56. And then I noticed that price hit exactly, you see this blue dotted line? What this level represents, well, the golden rate, right? The most famous 61.8 Fibonacci correction level, right? That's exactly right here at 0.45. And when I noticed that reaction we had here on that level, and price completely turning around with pretty strong upside momentum, I knew that the downside correction is probably over. However, I wanted to make sure that I'm going to start the second campaign as successful as possible, right? So I decided to use that same 56.22 level as a trigger. And I was also looking pretty carefully on the 200-day moving average that at first seemed to be resistance, quite a strong resistance. But then price pretty easily broke it, and it was starting to, well, the 200-day moving average was starting to act as a support. You can see the spikes that were forming right here, this time from above. But it didn't take too much for price to break above the 56.22 level right here. So at that point, and most importantly, 2 days ago, when I noticed that price was challenging that level from above, but take a look, spiking it slightly, right? And yesterday, right? Yesterday was actually trading well below that level at some point, but it pulled back up and closed well above. And at some point at this, I mean, I just established this, my second bullish campaign here yesterday, right? When I noticed the close here, I thought that price was beginning to break away from that level. And I want to show you the technical picture from the weekly perspective, because this is where it becomes quite remarkable. Now, take a look at this. At first, we're talking about 2 weeks ago. At first, price on the close, I'm talking about the close because the weekly close has lots of meaning. It is highly important. And you can see how the weekly close here, take a look at the close, 56.51, right? That's like, I mean, the level itself is 56.22. So we're talking about a fraction of a point closing above that level, right? Now that was interesting to begin with. But what was fascinating was to see the reaction we had last week. Because think about it. It started real strongly on the downside, right? And at some point, it made it all the way to 43 at its lowest low, right? So most of the previous week was trading below that level. But as the week progressed and came to its end, it managed to pull all the way back up just to close. Take a look at the close here. This is remarkable stuff, guys. And this is the stuff that makes opportunities spectacular, right? Take a look at the close. 56.37, right? The key level is 56.22. So that's a fraction of a point just above that level. Think about it. It made all the way up just to close right on top of that level. And even this week that have just started, price was actually challenging that same level from above again, right? leaving that small spike right here. So you can see what I'm saying. What I'm trying to say here is the way I see it, the way I read the market, the particular opportunity here on the Ripple, is that this particular level, 56.22, is a massive pivotal point. You know, pivotal point, the point of no return, right? Once broken, price does not look back. It just continues. So it was a strong resistance. Now it's going to be a very strong floor, right? It's a very strong support, and it would probably propel price to continue on the way up. Now the next major key level is 83.26, which is the natural mid-high key level. So this would be the safest play, right? Taking a position just aiming at 83.26 as the main price target, right? So just taking a move from where we're trading right now, we're talking about roughly I think pretty much 60 to 65% potential return to 83.26. But like I said, potentially speaking, I think it could drill much higher than that. Because of the nature of the recent low we had here, right? The recent low we had here took the previous one by a big margin, both in terms of price and time. So it's most likely to do the same on the way up, which is why I believe price can actually push further than 83.26 and reach the previous high at 95, and that represents about, I would say, 80 to 85% of potential return. So this is the potential that is right ahead of us, right? We've made a beautiful way all the way up to here, but we still have a lot of potential all the way up, and we've just managed to cross a huge obstacle. This is a very important milestone for the Ripple, as far as I'm concerned. Now, the only thing I want to say here is this: I'm going to try to aim at 95, right? But as we approach 83.26, hopefully in the near future, what's going to be most important to me is to see the reaction we're going to have against that level. So if price is going to be able to break through easily, a clean-cut break, I would be able to carry on all the way to 95. If we're going to have a massive reaction on that level with a spike and price will continue, begin to turn around, obviously that's not going to be a good sign, and we're going to have to close the position and split, right? Look for opportunity somewhere else. All right, so yeah, that's the situation right here on the Ripple. After a very nice upside move, we still believe that there's more in the pipeline. All I can say is that I wish us all good luck. I really hope you enjoyed this session. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel right below in the description. You can find all the links, and obviously open a trading account, open a demo account, move on to a real trading account, follow our leads, because we're doing very well, and we're doing this on a daily basis. So yeah, I wish you all a great trading day. See you in the next session.